So today on the touchdown with Aaron Masemola, I've got the first lady on the touchdown as well. And of course, today we change the narrative a little bit from the usual rugby and cricket, and we focus a little bit on South African hockey. And of course, I've got an incredibly special lady. She's one of those that are truly determined on the hockey field. She also has this amazing ability to have people gravitate towards her, both on and off the field. And of course, she plays hockey in the defensive position for South Africa, and her name is Nicole Erasmus. Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. And how are you, Aaron?
I'm doing very, very well. I think I'm quite fortunate and privileged to have the First Lady on the touchdown be yourself, a hockey player, a conversation that we don't usually have in South Africa because sometimes we focus on the three big sports. So I'm quite happy to talk to you this morning a little bit about hockey. So, Nicole, first and foremost, I would love to hear from you. How was your day? How did your morning start?
Started off good. I did my morning run. We were very grateful when we were told we can exercise between 6 and 9. So I make use of as much time as I can. And then I just had to pop up to the shops to get some ingredients. But yeah, so far my morning's been really good.
Some essential ingredients, hey? If I may ask, are you preparing to make a special meal?
Yes, I promised my husband I'll make him flapjacks tomorrow morning. So
Ah.
I just had to go get some essential ingredients. Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. I would love to know in terms of your upbringing. I mean, we know you from playing hockey, we've seen you playing in big tournaments. How did you grow up? But most importantly, how did you fall in love with the hockey sport?
Yeah, so I grew up in a very sporty family. My grand played hockey. Both my parents played hockey. My two older brothers played hockey, and so it was almost inevitable that I was also going to fall in love with the sport. And I remember starting to play when I was about 5 years old, and it's almost like the only thing I knew growing up was, we go into the back garden with my brothers and hit the ball around. And I mean, at school, I did do other sports like swimming and athletics. Tried netball, just didn't work for me. And yeah, just I think just having a family that's so passionate and enthusiastic about the sport, it just built up the fire and passion inside me as well. So it definitely helped having the support from everyone in the family. And I like a sport that's part of a team because the team dynamic makes it so much better. It's fun. You meet new people. You're not alone. So yeah, I think just growing up in a sporty family, it was just the way to go.
Oh, I love what you mentioned there. Growing up in a sporting family is the way to go. But the one interesting thing about your family is that your mom has achieved a lot in her own life. And I mean, it's almost as though your mom has set that standard for you. I mean, she swam for Zimbabwe in the 1980s Olympic Games, and also in 1982 in Germany, she partook in the Commonwealth Games. So how difficult was that for you as a young athlete to almost meet the standard that your mom has set for you?
Yeah, it's actually epic. I'm so proud of my mum. And what she's achieved is literally a goal of mine. So being able to, possibly go to the Olympic Games is just the biggest dream of mine. And having my mum do it, it makes it all more real because it's possible, it's something I can achieve. And what makes it even more special is um, if I go to the Olympic Games, I'll be the fourth generation in our family to go, which is like, I don't want to call it a tradition that I want to keep, but it's something that would be extra special for me because, it's in the family and, I like making other people proud and myself proud. So if I could get the chance to go, yeah, my mom set a good example for me. So I'm lucky.
Yeah, no, you talk about a good example. I think she set an example of the highest standard, literally, in sports as well. But in terms of the support, and most importantly, on and off the field, because we know that, yes, your family can achieve all of these great things, but the mental support that they give you, standing at the side of the field as well, screaming your name, how important has that been for you throughout your journey?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I've been so lucky to have had, whether it's my entire family, so my parents and my grand and my brothers on the sideline, or even just, if only one of them can come to my games. I'm fortunate enough to always have them at a game. And it really means so much because, you just feel, I don't even know how to describe it. You just feel this love, and you know that they're watching you. And it's really special to have them there and know that they're there for you and took the time out and, paid to get there. And I've even been so lucky to have my family go with me to the Junior World Cup in Germany, which was amazing. And then my parents came to Commonwealth Games in Australia, which was even better because just to be able to share those experiences with the people who love and support me just makes things more memorable.
Oh, that's absolutely special. I love what you mentioned there with regards to people who love and support you. And I know that love is quite an incredibly special thing for you at the moment, with you recently being married. How important has that journey been? Because I think love is one of those things that, as a sporting athlete, you're so focused on training and reaching those goals, and you refer to the Olympic Games, but it's not often that we actually find love and we have partners that are willing to support us throughout this difficult journey of sports. How has that journey been for you, and how are you feeling being recently married?
Yeah, so being married is honestly the most amazing thing in the world. It's, yeah, amazing, incredible. It's everything that I thought it would be and more. And I'm lucky to have found my husband. But to me, I feel like I'm even luckier because he's very understanding and he's a rugby player himself. And so he knows what it takes and what training does to a person. So if I'm moody or upset, he sort of knows what it's like. But being away, so for example, we went on honeymoon after our wedding. We were gone for a week. And the day I landed, we landed back in Johannesburg. I had to fly to Cape Town for 3 weeks for the test series. And so we were literally married for a week and I had to leave him alone for 3 weeks. And he was super understanding and really supportive. So, I don't think many people would be able to, handle that or go through that. But, having him be him and so understanding, he's really been the most amazing and supportive person I've had.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that he's understanding and is incredibly supportive. But the one thing that caught me off guard is that gorgeous wedding dress that you were wearing. Was he important in terms of decision making? Was he there to possibly just nudge you in the right direction and say, choose that specific one? Because that dress was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. No, I kept it a surprise from him. It was something I wanted him to see only on the wedding day. And it was quite funny. It was my second wedding dress appointment I went to. So it was last year, February, and I tried the dress on, and the lady literally had to keep it in her safe for a full year because we only got married in January. So, but I knew that that was, my style, and it was beautiful. It was exquisite. I loved it.
Oh, I can tell you that dress is really beautiful. I understand why it had to be put in a safe for at least a year. And in terms of you recently relocating from Bloemfontein to Pretoria, how has that been? I mean, a change in scenery and, most importantly, almost a new world, because the busyness of Gauteng is definitely not the same as the peace and quiet of the Free State.
Yeah, it was quite a big step for me because I grew up in Bloem, and so Bloem is my comfort zone, and I know where everything is, and I have my people and my family. But my husband got a job here, and obviously we had to move. So we're staying in a very nice area, which is something important to me, because to me, Bloem, I felt safe in Bloem. And here I just don't know. It's the unknown. So it was quite daunting. But it's been good so far. We've settled in nicely. I actually think lockdown has helped, because we can really, settle in, and get to know like the little shopping centers and stuff. But it is a big change. I don't, I'm starting with a new hockey club. I need to look for a job, like just different things all around. I needed to find my shopping centers. And when my husband goes to work, I'm alone, so I had to, it's been tough, but I mean, got to do what you've got to do, really.
That's very true. You have to get through some of these rough patches as well. With regards to the lockdown, I know that the lockdown is something that every single South African is just hoping it slowly but surely comes to an end. We all understand the importance, of course, of being the modern day superheroes by just simply staying at home. But in terms of staying sane, what have you done? Because I've seen South Africans create those funny memes and almost make it a little bit more of a humorous situation. What are some of the small things that you are doing just to stay active, to stay nice and busy, and you just simply stay sane?
Yeah. So I work out every day. So that is something, exercise is something that really helps keep me sane. And, the endorphins really, make you just feel better. So when we couldn't go outside or exercise outside, I would literally drag my husband into and we stay in a tiny apartment. It's really not big, but I would make the space and I would literally force him to do a workout with me. So just doing things like that, and baking, like trying new things in the kitchen, trying a different recipe every time, just things like that, things that you've always wanted to do but never really had the time to do. And another thing that my husband and I have just started doing actually is we have been giving English classes to some Chinese students or global students online. So that's also a thing to just keep my brain busy while we are in lockdown.
Oh, that's good to hear. And in terms of those meals and the baking that you're currently busy with, anything special that you've recently discovered or created or made your husband taste that might not have tasted that nice?
Mm. Oh, I did. It was quite a funny thing. So we bought some apples and they were just in the fridge and we had them for quite a while. And so I was like, well, what can I do for dinner that I use or incorporate apples? And so Google helped me obviously. And so I did a apple, what was it? Apple stuffed chicken breast.
Oh, wow.
I
Sure.
know. It was actually really delicious. So that was, I think, one of the strangest combinations we had, but turned out to be quite yum.
Oh, wow. So you're also quite the foodie, I see.
Yeah, yeah. The kitchen is really a fun place for both of us to, experiment and just try new things. And I love cooking, so yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. I would love to just shift the conversation more towards the sporting side of you. And most importantly, we know you so well for grabbing that hockey stick and performing so well for South Africa, both locally and internationally as well. But I would love to hear from you in terms of the sporting landscape in South Africa. How do you feel as a female athlete about the sporting landscape so far? Because more specifically, looking at last year, we saw the netball ladies do so well in Liverpool at the Ladies Netball World Cup. We saw Banyana Banyana also qualify for the first FIFA Women's World Cup in France last year. And just towards the end of February, we saw the Proteas ladies team qualify for the semi-finals in Australia. So it seems that things are looking quite well for women's sports across the country. You as an athlete, how do you feel about the female athlete's perspective in terms of the sporting landscape in South Africa?
Yeah, it's amazing that, women in sports have done so well and, performing on those different platforms. And it's not necessarily just one sport where, maybe sponsors and everything is drilled into it. It's a variety of sports, which really, it makes other women in the country really proud. And it also helps younger athletes out there who, maybe think that women can't achieve things, to maybe be like, oh my word, she could do it, I
Yeah.
can too, or she was in the same school as I was. So, things are possible. So to see women in different sports really achieve those amazing things, it really just, it makes our hearts burst with pride. and I'm proud, to be a South African, and I'm proud that they are doing so well, because you know it's it's been, it's hard, because people, for example, would rather watch a men's hockey game rather than a women's hockey game, because it's so much faster, and things happen quicker and they hit the ball harder and stuff. So, I mean, there is a bit, you know, I'll call it a speed bump, because we have to maybe do that extra little bit to, get the spectators to come and watch. And like you said, they've achieved such amazing things. So it just goes to show you that they can also achieve the things that, any athlete in the world can achieve.
Oh, that's very true. And of course, you yourself have achieved a lot of great things throughout your career as well. And I would love to know, having achieved so much, what is that one thing that really stands out for you the most? I mean, you have played in the Junior World Cup, and the dream is to now play in the Olympic Games. But looking at your career thus far, is there one specific moment that really maybe stands out for you, maybe on and off the field?
Oh, that's such a hard question. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of something that I'll never forget would be having my parents at the Commonwealth Games in Australia, and just showing them around the village, because my mom went to Commonwealth Games in Brisbane. So she sort of, knew what it was like, and just to have them there, and for my mom to experience a more modern, setup and things like that, really was amazing. Hockey wise, I would say, I don't even know, just being able to play at such huge tournaments like the World Cup and even the Junior World Cup, like being able to play on the international, Astro, and in the international competition, it's indescribable, really. It's every single time I step onto the field, it's a dream come true. And I've enjoyed being back on the field in the beginning of this year, because I was completely out of it for the whole year last year. So that was unfortunate. So even being back on the field this year was a highlight for me, because I'm playing, to me, even better than I was before. So, getting mentally tougher and being able to, get back into it was really something I think I'll never forget.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. And of course, looking at the ability for you to play under so much pressure at, for example, the Commonwealth Games, what actually goes through the mind of an athlete as you're preparing for such a big competition, but also as you play on one of the largest stages in terms of sport, in terms of the mental processes, what actually goes through your mind? I mean, the nerves, I'm sure, are absolutely shattering as well. And also, when you perform well, what also goes through your mind when you can actually tap yourself on the back and say, you know what, actually, that was a good game?
Yeah. Well, mentally, it's quite, a tough thing. You have to, prepare yourself that you're going to be playing against these big names, whether it's number one in the world, number four in the world. So you have to mentally prepare yourself. And what I tell myself is, if I know I'm playing against Argentina and they play amazing hockey, I have to tell myself that on the field, we're equal. I can't be a fangirl and, if someone dribbles past me, I'm just like, whoa, that was, I have to, be an equal and, prove why I'm on that field. So mentally, it's it's tricky, but it's so rewarding, because you actually need to pinch yourself and say, I'm standing in the hallway on my way to the World Cup AstroTurf. Like it's I don't even, I'm like out of words. It's crazy to think that you could be there and you're actually there doing it. So it can be quite tricky, but you just got to believe in yourself and back yourself and just say, I'm here for a reason, and just got to play. It's just another game. It's hockey. It's the sport that we love. We know how to play it. So we just got to, back yourself and believe yourself. And when we win or do something, it's just super rewarding, because all of the hours of training and meetings and video analysis have all, will be paid off, because, for that one moment, whether it was a goal, whether it was an overhead that I threw, every small little moment on the field is something that I've been preparing for. And you've got to sort of take that one little thing and hold on to it, because those are the chances in the game, or the things in the game that you should really hold on to. And, like you said, pat yourself on the back and say, I did it. We were able to perform against number 4 in the world. Yes, we might have lost the game, but we did so well. So yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely special. And of course, as we know with life, you have your ups where you can pat yourself on the back, but you also have the downs where in the sporting world, you face injuries. And I know you've had your fair share of injuries. In terms of recovering and going through rehab when you have these injuries that set you back a season, half a season, a few months, how do athletes actually get through that process? Because you wake up each and every single day to play the sports that you love, and all of a sudden things change so drastically, not because you want to, but because you are simply human. How do you work through that process?
Yeah, it's a very, very hard thing. And when I broke my leg last year, it was very tough for me because I had so much I wanted to achieve, and I just started feeling, confident and good about the year. And then something like that happened, and like you said, it's not something I asked for, but it was almost like, okay, I had to change my mindset and realize that, okay, so there's no way I can play hockey this year. So I need to now work on myself mentally. And so having a support system like I did, and having the people and friends and family around me to help me, get game by game, even if it's a small thing, just getting those gains, and just knowing that I will get back to the sport. There's no point I dwell on it. I remember my brother told me once when something happened, he was like, you know what, the sun's going to come up tomorrow morning, life's going to go on. So there's no point just stay being sad and, dwell on it. So that really was something I was like, okay, I can't play hockey for X amount of months, but what I can do is I can mentally prepare myself and, get stronger and do things, that maybe I couldn't do when I was so busy and caught up in everything. So it is a tricky thing, but getting those small gains and getting those little results really motivates a person. And it is stressful getting back onto the field after an injury, but how bad your hunger for the game just gets so much more. And what hard work you put in to do the extra rehab to get fit again. So what it takes, and you don't want that to happen again. And so you appreciate your time on the field even more.
Oh, that's absolutely special. And I love what you mentioned there, that sometimes you have to almost drag yourself through that rough patch. You have to motivate yourself. And of course, looking at your achievements in terms of hockey, I would love to hear from you. There are so many young people that look up to somebody like you. They want to achieve some of the things that you've achieved. They want to play at the Junior World Cup. They want to play at the Commonwealth Games. What would you say to specifically young girls who are pursuing any sport? What is that special message that you would like to share with them? Because sometimes, and especially in the sporting landscape, as we touched on earlier, it's quite difficult to find that inspiration because you're not necessarily treated as equally as your older brother who might be playing rugby.
Yeah. Well, if anyone, something that I, have learned and stuff, it's don't always believe in yourself, and don't listen to what other people have to say. So, just always believe in yourself and back yourself and work hard. What sport you play and you know what it takes. So just do that extra little bit, because a quote that I read when I was at school and really, inspired me was the quote that says, I will do what others won't today so I can do what others can't tomorrow. And so that was really like, wow, if I do that extra little bit today, whatever it is, I can do something extra that somebody else can't tomorrow. So just doing that extra little bit and always believing in yourself. You'll always have those people that either don't believe in you or, say things about you, but that's where you just got to block them out, focus on you, and yeah, just keep believing and backing yourself, and you've got amazing support systems around you. And yeah, just keep working hard.
Just keep working hard. Absolutely love that. And of course, looking at your career, I'm certain there's a few things that you still would like to tick off of your achievement list. Is there anything specific that really stands out for you that once you achieve that specific thing, you'll be like, you know what, Nicole, I have finally done it?
Definitely the Olympic Games.
Is it a
That
gold
has
medal,
been a
hey?
dream. I don't know about a gold medal, maybe a medal, but just even just being there and being able to participate at the Olympic Games, it's just a phenomenal achievement for anyone to achieve, and to even be in the training squad is also an incredible achievement. To just know that I have a chance to go. So if I could go to the Olympic Games, that would honestly be my wildest dream come true.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And I mean, with the Olympic Games being postponed this year, that's something that really didn't sit well with a lot of athletes, but we understand the seriousness of ensuring that players are safe at all times. I would now like to shift the conversation to life after hockey, because I know that yes, you're a hockey player and you're doing so well for South Africa, but there's also a lot more that you do. And recently you went into business and you opened your own practice. How is that going?
It's good. So it's not like a physical practice as of yet, but my eldest brother and I both studied biokinetics. And during this lockdown, we've always spoken about, opening something where people, can come to us. And so we just decided, well, why don't we just get our name out there so long? And so it's, it's daunting as anything would be that is of the unknown, but it's a passion that I love helping other people, and I love the fact that I know what people go through if they get an injury and what it takes to get back on the field. So mentally being able to support the patients and athletes to get back to where they want to be, it all makes it very rewarding. So it's a slow start, and we're going to see just how far we can take it. But it's a passion of mine that I definitely, want to pursue and, make a big thing about. So yeah.
And of course, we wish you well in that venture. And I mean, if any athlete wants some additional help and support, they'll definitely come knocking on your door. And of course, just to simply wrap up the conversation, is a lot of us know you from the hockey field. We know you with that hockey stick in your hand. Previously, we knew you as Nicole Walraven, and now you Nicole Erasmus. But how would you define yourself if we had to remove hockey completely from your life? How would you define yourself? What would you do? What are some of the basic things that you do? What are some of the fun things that you do if you had to remove hockey completely from your life?
That's so tricky to think of. But if I had to think of myself, how I would describe myself, and I had this conversation with my husband and one of my best friends in New Zealand when we were describing each other using one sentence, and both of them at the same time said, busy bee. And it's so true because I'm someone who likes to be busy doing things. And so anything, if hockey was to be eliminated from my life, I think I would either be, I don't, it's so tricky. I've got like so many things going on in my head. So, and this is probably why I'm a busy bee. So, I could potentially open a coffee shop and be a baker in the coffee shop. Or I said, if biokinetics doesn't work out for me, I'd love to be a wedding planner because I thoroughly enjoyed, planning my wedding. So that would also be a dream come true. But then again, biokinetics is another passion of mine. So I think I just have like so many ideas in my head that if hockey was out of the picture, I would definitely do one of those things. And I also see myself as a very positive person. I try to look at the positive things in life. When the purple hits the fan, I'm the one that always, sees the positive and tries to, appreciate the little things in life. So yeah, I think if I had to describe myself, I would be a busy bee, but a positive busy bee.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Nicole, I just simply wanted to thank you so much for your time. I think you've almost shown us a completely different side of you because we so often see the determined, the focus side of you. And it was such an amazing conversation to have with you. And of course, most importantly, thank you so much for being such an amazing role model, not just to young ladies in the sporting world, but to each and every single South African who is determined and focused to achieve their dreams. Nicole Erasmus, thank you so much for your time and thank you for being such a great South African.
Oh no, Aaron, thank you for, taking the time to chat to me. It's so nice to, chat to, different people and being able to get the message out to, thousands of people out there. So I appreciate this opportunity that you gave me. And it's nice for people to see, the more personal side of athletes. So I think what you're doing is really good. So thank you for thinking of me. And yeah, I'm glad if somebody could have learned something from today. Yeah, but thank you for having me on the show today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Bye bye.